good, y'all? It's your boy T. Welcome to Players and Protagonists, here with all your anime and gaming conversations. I already introduced myself, but I want to let y'all know that we on the call with Mars, Visions, Loa, Talisman, and Cobra. So what's good, y'all? You know, by standard, by culture, now we open up with the news. So what news y'all got? What's going on in the industry? So I got some stuff, but I'll wait for y'all first.
I feel like the stuff you want to say, I don't want to steal your spotlight. So I guess I'll start with Starfield. Starfield Early Access has come out. For us people I have Game Pass, so it was a $30 upgrade for me to get the early access. And then it also has all the DLC and stuff. So I didn't feel like it was I was paying for money for something I was going to get free next week. But it's been great so far. If you like space, and exploring and a bunch of different planets. They worked really closely with NASA to get like all of the details of like where all the different planets were and like what type of stars would be there, as accurate as possible too. So that was really cool to see that they actually like pulled in NASA. And I mean, it is also a little bit of some Fallout. So if you like some Fallout, this is not an ad for Starfield. I don't work for Bethesda. I don't know how this became an ad for Starfield, but I wanted to shout out because I've already put in 15 hours into it, and I looked at it and I was like, this game has been out for 2 days. I've spent half of my time over the last 2 days on it, so I had to shout it out.
That's what's up. Yeah, I've heard great things about the game for real.
Yeah, it's definitely it's good. Like if you like space games, you will love this.
Is it better than the Outer Wilds?
Outer Worlds, the one that
Outer
Obsidian
Worlds.
did, yeah.
That one.
It's I feel like it's different. So it depends. I think Outer Worlds so far, and I haven't gotten super far into Starfield's story because the moment they let me free, I jumped on a ship and I've been to like 18 other planets and I've done like 2 story missions. So don't quote me on this, but I think Outer Worlds had a better story so far. Like it was something that was more initially engaging. Like right off the bat, I wanted to see what was happening with Outer Worlds. Versus this was like I had the little entry moment and then they gave me a ship and I was like, all right, see y'all when I see y'all. And I dipped. So I think Outer Worlds story wise was a little bit more capturing. However, I do like the space, like the actual space navigation of this a lot more. Like Outer Worlds was very much you were just trying to get from one planet to the other. This is making a journey out of the experience. So like, yeah, you jump to different atmospheres, and once you're there, you can fight space pirates in the sky. You can steal ships. You yourself can become a pirate. You can do diplomacy. Like I've joined this corporate like espionage where I'm going to other planets and like sabotaging other big corporations for this corporation that I work for. So there's so many other little things that you can get into. So I think it depends on what you find joy in, but I like the role playing aspect, and I think this handles it a little bit better.
Nice. Okay. Pick that
I
up.
dig that. The piece of news that I had is that I mean, I talk about it a lot because you know I'm a person who supports strikes and everything like that. But SAG-AFTRA just approved or authorized strike for the video game industry too. So all the actors are going to be going on strike for the video game industry, for the television
Mm-hmm.
industry, for the movie industry, you know, all of that. And so I'm excited to see what that brings forward because I think that's all necessary to bring forward one quality games, but also, you know, these are folks that's putting in a lot of work for things that we know Jim for our leisure time. So they deserve to be compensated and paid for all the work that they're doing. And if they're getting cheated out of it, then by all means, you know, go get that strike going.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I'm excited to see how the strike goes. I know for now at least it is covering mostly like motion cap and voice actors more so than like the developers and stuff like that, which of course are also a huge part of gaming and everything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I've heard so much about developers who have either been kind of bullied out of forming unions, or they form unions but
Mm.
they don't really take off or get anything. So it'll be interesting to see how this affects other parts of the industry also unionizing, just because I know that's something that could definitely be used based on how overworked a lot of people in that industry are.
Absolutely. And when I heard about how much work the people working on Across the Spider Verse had to put in, and I was like, man, if that's just a movie, what are video game folks going through? Voice actors, motion capture, animators, whatever, whatever. And I know the animators may not be completely on strike, but still the motion capture team and the voiceover team, that's still major. That's fundamental to a game and its core. So yeah.
Right. And speaking about this, the whole strike and everything, being in the whole film thing. So, for our viewers, if you don't know, my major is film and television. But there, we are always talking about the strike and stuff like that. And I just think that it's a huge thing, like everywhere, no matter what you're in. If it got a voice, then then it's included in the strike.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's been very interesting to see the community come together around that too. Like even actors that are making a ton of money, so in theory, they don't need to, worry about it because they're set because they're so well known. So it's cool to see them even stop their production so that they can make sure the people who were in the position they probably were at some point are also getting their fair due because they had to come up from the most of the actors that we see at least, especially black actors and people of color who are actors had to kind of pull themselves up from the trenches and kind of started out in those smaller roles too. And so a lot of them have come from that position where they weren't getting paid that much. And now, even though they are making millions or billions of dollars a year, it's good that they haven't forgotten that they were once that actor in that spot. And so a lot of them are going back and making sure that they're getting help too. And the other people, like comedians, like I saw like Snoop and Kevin Hart both putting some of their productions on hold and some of their like even comedy tours on hold until the strike was over. So it's just cool to see all these different groups within the kind of like the artist circle coming together to support this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, shout out solidarity for real.
Yeah.
And other news, don't know if y'all saw, but Fortnite is back at it again with some more collabs. And they have Kaby Lame. If y'all don't know him, he's a famous TikToker. Kaby Lame is in Fortnite, as well as more My Hero Academia characters coming. Shoto Todoroki, Kirishima, and Mina. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool seeing Fortnite bring a lot of anime culture in because they didn't start doing that until I think a year ago, actually, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah,
Yeah, I do think it's interesting how much anime culture is seeping into all these other things. Like, I mean, Fortnite, I think I mean, it's a game, so you have a lot of overlap with people who are going to enjoy that and anime. But to see even over the last couple of years, it's gone from a couple of things here and there to like, oh, we have rollouts of different Dragon Ball Z characters, and then like rollouts of again Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan, and it's stuff that I think even for Fortnite we wouldn't have seen a couple of years ago when Fortnite was first, launching in big. So it's cool to see anime, even if I'm not the biggest Fortnite person. It's cool to see it just kind of infiltrating all of these different games, and even like what Dead by Daylight had an Attack on Titan add-on, just like
yeah,
all these other random games that are seeping into or pulling from anime culture.
yep. The
That's
next
Sounds
real.
Comic
good.
Con gonna have Fortnite Jonesies and Dead by Daylight characters.
Mm. I feel like anybody who's cosplaying as a Fortnite character is going to annoy me.
Wow.
Next time we got an episode running, you gonna log on the call. We all gonna be dressed up as Jonesy just for you.
I will leave.
Yes.
That'll be
Cosplay
perfect.
episode.
Halloween's coming up too.
Mm-hmm. That
Mhm.
might be the move for
As
real.
long as no one
Mhm.
cosplays as a Fortnite character, a episode is perfectly fine.
Hey, Visions, where them banana suits at? We gonna be that dude.
Oh, in the banana suits.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Man.
Let's
All
see.
right.
Any other big things for news?
Um, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I think a new trailer came out recently.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, when does that come out?
Sometime in October.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think they're
they're.
trying to line it up for Halloween.
Yeah, I think it's October 27th.
That sounds about right.
Word.
That just sounds
How did
scary.
y'all feel about the trailer? I haven't watched it yet.
The first trailer I thought was pretty interesting. It's pretty
Okay.
cool how spoiler alert. It's pretty cool how there's Corey Kenshin is in the movie, and so
So I
that's
saw
pretty
he was in the trailer, but he's in. Wow, is he in the actual movie?
Yes.
So I think he's. I
Yo,
think as
that's
a short,
I think the
like
trailer
short
is.
screen time. You know, I
That's
don't know if he's gonna
cool, but
feature
that's
the
still
whole
dope.
time.
Yeah, that's still really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. The fact that he gets like some time in the movie over someone like Markiplier is pretty dope too.
Yeah.
Not to say that
Yeah.
Markiplier, wouldn't also be a great addition, but it just shows how much like Corey Kenshin has worked. Because I would imagine if they were going to have anybody be in a movie about it, it would be
It'd be
the
like Markiplier or
self-proclaimed.
something.
Yeah, it'd be the
Mhm.
self-proclaimed Five Nights at Freddy's King. But
Mm-hmm.
I was
That's
thinking about trying to play through the games before the movie comes out.
You should definitely give it a shot.
I'm
Those
afraid to
games are
play Five
pretty
Nights at
entertaining.
Freddy. Oh well, you
Yeah.
never play that game. Corey,
Yeah, I've never
Corey does a
played
lot of
them.
screenplay on it though, a lot.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I won't.
I know like everything about the lore, and I've watched a lot of people play the game online, but I've never played it myself. So I think it'd be a
Well,
fun
now,
challenge.
now you got to be the living legend, man. You got to be the man to live it, see it, experience it, and tell us about it. Because I ain't playing it, but you got it. Um,
Mhm.
and on that note, I do want to transition us to our topic for today's episode, and that is really the conversation around diversity in anime as well as diversity in video games. I mean, over time, we've seen the industry of anime or the genre of anime and all the subgenres that fall into it expand and develop over time, and we've seen different expressions of other racial backgrounds, people's own racial backgrounds show up in the media. Different gendered experiences, different religious and class experiences, and not just in anime either. In video games too, we're seeing more stories being told, and even at times where there are limited stories, we're still seeing some of that. So I just want to dive into your minds and see what's on your mind when it comes to diversity in anime and diversity in video games.
Well, I'm glad you brought this topic to the table. No,
How you coming in
I-
sounding like a gremlin?
Yeah, you was a villain.
I was like, where is that?
This brings out the gremlin in me. No, I
Tell
think
us.
I could speak on both of these separately. Both have been, I think, getting better. Anime is interesting, especially. I mean, if we're talking about purely Japanese anime, not other things that are anime likes that we sometimes talk about as anime in the community, but actual Japanese anime. It's in an interesting crossroads because I do feel like there's this mentality from a lot of Japanese animators that when they're creating these characters, they aren't thinking about race, but because of the way a lot of these characters look, they inadvertently either look white. If you're looking at, they've got the blonde hair and blue eyes, then they do tend to look whiter, or they look, kind of more ambiguous, and you can get away with saying like, okay, they probably are a Japanese character. Ichigo Kurosaki, okay, you meant for him to be Japanese, okay, but then you do have characters that are clearly kind of white facing or white posing, and so it's hard to kind of blur that line. And say,
All
like,
of Square
oh,
Enix.
yes, all of Square Enix. That's a video game. We're gonna get there. That's video game companies. They a whole nother bag of words. But
Hey,
yeah, I feel like
FYI, my boy
Mhm.
Walker ain't white.
oh no,
No,
Waka's not supposed to be white.
no, I'm just
Wait,
joking. I'm just joking.
I was like,
That's
is
my
this a
boy.
meme? Is this a meme I didn't know
Yeah.
about? No,
No,
is
no,
this a meme
I'm just
somewhere?
messing with y'all. Walker's my boy.
But yeah, so I think anime is interesting, but I do think a lot of animators are being more conscious of putting a plethora of different colors in their anime. I was reading Blue Lock, as y'all know, my favorite new soccer manga, and it was really cool because this is meant to represent people from all over the world because they're playing soccer with these big people who are from from Brazil and from Africa and from like all these different places. And so it was really cool to see how they depicted Black characters. You didn't have the stereotypical like my lips look like this and it's like a weird colored circle that's
Yeah, like
light
a pink
pink and
donut
like
around their
yes,
face.
a pink donut around my face and the rest of me's black. Like they really took care into not only different features, but different features depending on where they were from too. Like the Brazilian Black people had a little, like slightly different features than like the Black dude who was from France and the Black dude who was from somewhere else. So it was really cool that you could tell that the mangaka went out of his way to look up features and things about different characters to kind of depict them and still like they still look like anime, but you could tell there was some effort put into the character art there. So I think it's starting to get better, but then you have a lot of the generic anime that's still like we have a bunch of people with red hair and here's the one blonde haired blue eyed girl but she's not supposed to be white, honestly.
Mhm.
It does happen. That does
Mommy,
happen.
mommy, whatever her name is, from Rent a Girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, she's a sucker though. So
Sounds like I
Not a
need to start Rent a
sucker.
Girlfriend.
no, you don't. It is trash. It is a train wreck of an anime. You do not need to watch it.
Wait.
I thought I'd seen
Loa likes
it.
it. Loa probably likes it.
I love it, but I thought I love
I knew it. See, stay away.
it. I thought I watched that with Cobra before, but apparently not.
Wait, the live action one?
There was a live action Rent a Girlfriend.
Yeah. So I saw a piece of the live action one. I'm not sure with who, when, or why, but I saw a piece of the live action one. Never seen the anime.
Hmm.
Mm,
The live action,
suspicious.
are they still? So is mommy? Is that still have
Yeah.
blonde hair?
I,
Does she look like?
I
Does
only
she look-
started the first episode. I wish I could tell you, but
Hmm.
Mm,
I'm just wondering how they cast her.
I
I'll
do
have to look
wonder.
that up.
I feel like they usually do cast in live actions, like all Japanese characters. And mommy is supposed to be Japanese, so she might have just dyed her hair blonde. But it is, yeah, it
As a
is
sign
interesting.
of
There's almost
rebellion.
always, that is also an interesting thing, though. It's like dyeing your hair a color that's not like brown or a darker color is a sign of rebellion a lot for
Hmm.
in Japanese culture, especially in school culture. So it
Right.
is interesting that she was kind of a jerk, so maybe in a way, not kind of. Mommy's a whole jerk. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe she is supposed to be rebellious. I don't know.
You said she's a whole jerk, and I thought
A
you
whole
called her
Not half
some
of her.
other type of jerk.
I thought she was.
I mean, she's that too, but
Okay.
Oh, great. You said both yes.
both, yes.
Oh,
Mm.
man. I was thinking about first I wanted to give a shout out to The Sims because Sims creators have always been the only way that I was able to experience black hairstyles as a youth in my video
Man.
games. We would have to go download them from the Sims community and then put them on our game.
Hmm.
So
That's true.
that, and I mean, of course, we've seen the development of that too, where now they have amazing hairstyles that these individual developers are creating and putting up there for the community.
Hmm.
Yep.
I know that is one thing that's tough in video games, man. Trying to find a variety of hairstyles of different textures and different styles. I think by now every game has at least the comb over lock hairstyle, which is cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But sometimes I'll be in that character creator and I'm looking for other hairstyles. So sometimes it's a blessing if you can even put a fro or some or some waves on your character. But
Yo,
you can't
yeah.
find those. You gotta find you maybe a bob or something, or like the wild messy hair, and call it a day. And it's still I think it's cool that more programmers and developers are putting in different hairstyles and hair textures into their games. I think one day we're gonna get to a point where folks can just create their own hairstyle and apply physics to it. I think that'd be A1.
I don't know if y'all have ever
That-
seen. I don't know if y'all ever seen the Grand Theft Auto role playing community on PC, but a lot of black people make those servers or whatever, and so they implement real good looking black hairstyles. And I think it's crazy that the community can make better hairstyles than Rockstar themselves because of the fact that there's countless. They got at least 50 different types of ways that you could put your locks, and that's all just in the GTA roleplay servers. And I think that's crazy.
Yep.
Word.
Yeah, well, I think an important thing to call out to that though is that these people who are creating those role playing servers are usually black. And so they understand our hair textures. They see some of the unique things they do either with their own hair or that they see people around them do with their hair. And so they're able to implement that. And that all gets back to when we're looking at these video game companies is hiring more people to portray the people you say you want to have in your games. Like if you want diversity,
That part.
it starts behind the screen, right? Like you can't just have a bunch of like white dudes trying to design what a black woman or what a black person or what a Latino person or what an Asian person or what a Native American is going to look like. Like you have to have those people behind the screen as programmers to tell you like, yo, that texture looks off, or that
Yeah.
looks crusty, or hey, we wear our locks and more than just down on our head, or
Mhm.
crop shave coming out the top. Like there's so many different styles that we have for our hair. But if you got Jimmy from down the block who maybe saw two black people on Instagram and was like,
Not
yeah,
Jimmy.
that's what we do it, then like that's what we get. Yeah, go Jimmy. Like Jimmy, we appreciate you for trying, but you're gonna have to hire some black people, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how you get. That's how you get the RPGs where you get to change your character's skin tone, and you could have a brown skin character, but you gotta have, you gotta have the Goku hair still.
Right. Yeah.
You still gotta
Right.
get the tan
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
It's
You
still
get
gotta be
Goku
pointy
hair.
and all crazy.
Or
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
or
feel
those
like
weird braids that are just like this.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
That was they were like
Like,
cyber
Dramatic
braids. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like unfortunately Dungeon Fighter is still kind of in that bubble of you could change the color of your character, but you still gonna have some like anime spiky type hair.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And even features, like going back to what you said about like you could change the color, but it's been a very long time since we. I mean, now we can do it, but for a while, I even remember like old Mass Effect. And I think they made some updates to this when the new edition came out when they like remastered it. But I remember old Mass Effect. It was like you could color your character brown, but if I wanted to make her have a nose that was like a little bit more of a black nose, not that all white people have pointy noses. That's not what I was meaning to say, but there's
But
there's
you
certain
want to,
features. Yeah, but
yeah.
there's certain features that black people tend to have, and so if I wanted to give her more of those features, it wasn't really possible. It was like you could have darker skin, but feature wise, it was like a
Had
bar,
you
like
looking
the
like
old
the black
Barbies.
witchy poo.
Yes, pretty much. Yes,
Yeah.
like a little witchy. Or like the old school
Yeah.
Barbies, where it was like you literally just dipped the Barbie you created in black paint and sat them on the
Yeah.
thing.
Now
Right?
she's a
Yeah,
black lady.
yeah, she's
Call
black
it a
now.
day.
Yeah,
Just call it a day there.
right.
But I do, you know what? Something just came back to mind, and shout out to T because he's the one that actually pointed out. But I do want to give Dungeon Fighter a little bit of credit. There's a new character coming to the game, and she's black, or a new boss, and she actually looks like a black person. Like,
Okay.
like
Hey, no, that is saying something. Yeah.
This is a real clap too.
All right. Yeah. Good
I know
job.
it seems sarcastic, but no. We do have to actually give people credit for making black characters seem black.
All right. And it's like,
Right.
oh, look, a black character. That
Uh,
is something I'll give Starfield. It's both a credit and a credit away. Black hairstyles, same situation, right? Where you have like two that you could choose. Like there was one there's like a curly look that's like shaved up, the classic, I'm hard, shaved on both sides, curly in the middle look, cyberspace look. And then they have the like locks shaved and then like locks at the top pulled into a ponytail. And then they have just the regular like half down
cyber
locks.
black.
So yes, basically like three cyber black options, and then they have one like fade curly fro thing going on. So hairstyle wise, at least there's four options, but we getting there, but we not there kind of situation, right? I know, but I do like the black characters that they've created in the game. They've done a really good job with creating diversity with these black characters. You have black characters with a variety of different like accents, but are still like blacker accents and stuff like that. And so you could tell that they hired black people to play even the NPCs, which I think was really cool. Like they just have a variety of black actors that they came in to play all the different NPCs, and they do that with more than just black people. Like the characters that are supposed to be clearly like Japanese descendants tend to have Japanese voice actors. So it is really cool that they took the time to find actors to match all the different races that they were trying to bring into the game, even in a futuristic, the year is 2200 and we're all in space. We're still paying attention to different cultures and where like kind of those cultures have stemmed from, even if they are more spacey now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Well, I'm glad that we don't lose track of like making sure to include diversity in our ideas of what the future looks like too.
Yeah.
Right. Now I got a question for y'all that played Rumble Fighter. How do y'all feel about the shaman class?
You have to remind me which one the shaman class was. Was
The
it like
shaman class?
was it kind of witch doctory?
Yeah, he was like witch doctory. He was the only dark skinned character that you could purchase. You had to purchase with real money. I think it was like $20. Was he $20?
Good loaded.
Yeah, but he still has straight anime hair, didn't he?
I think so. By
Yeah.
default.
And so
He was
this
just
is what brings me to something very interesting and kind of fun that I like to do. But the gray line, the gray area between South Asian characters in fiction and Black/African characters in fiction, that's such a big gray area because to this day, I don't know if the shaman was based on Black folks or if it was based on South Asian folks. And even times like I joke about Dohalim. Like, I don't know if Dohalim was supposed to be South Asian, if he was supposed to be North African, if he was supposed to be, I don't know. But I joke about Dohalim possibly being black, and Vision be like, that man ain't black. He just a dark skinned Asian. I'd be like, nah, man, he black, man. But he could very much well be South Asian, whatever. I don't know. But that's how I feel about the shaman class on Rumble Fighter. I don't know if they were trying to make a South Asian character or if they were trying to make an African character. Either way, the designs for them oftentimes come out to be very similar. And so I
He
thought
could
the
have been
shaman
South
class,
American, like native indigenous for all we know, because
yeah,
there's a
that's
lot
true.
of shamanism and cultures down there too. You
That's
know,
true.
Yeah.
they said
That's true.
just color him a little brown and it'll do.
And just let the people decide.
Give him to the people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What's interesting is, so when I looked up the shaman class on the interwebs, because I did not remember what they look like, the hairstyles, or I'll drop them in the chat, but the hairstyles for them are kind of, I think these are supposed to be locks, and the woman has kind of like a braided look going on. So would incline me to think that maybe they were going for Black characters, but again, it's one of those where it's like, oh, it's ambiguous. We don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be whatever.
Right.
Right. And I actually just saw what you were talking about. I went to the Wikipedia page to see if I could read more about them real quick. And I saw
They are ethnic hairstyles.
Yeah.
They are ethnic. We don't know what ethnic.
But if you look at their default character sprites and then look at their concept art has different hairstyles.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I wonder if someone raised up an issue with having, using a more indigenous title for a character, but still having them look very white or mainstream. Or if they just, decided to throw a whole bunch of stuff together, give them braids 1 minute, give them locks, give them straight hair on the actual pixie sprite.
We'll just throw some stuff in. Somebody will like it. High five.
They'll have to accept one of them.
Here's my working theory. They are Afro-Indigenous South Asian.
There we go.
Okay. Yep.
Yes, all of it. Every single box clicked.
Why make separate characters when you could just throw it all in one?
Why not?
Now, we are playing Story of Seasons. Have y'all seen these shaved haircuts for Story of Seasons? They look... Talisman's handshake. Yo.
What do you think prompted my contribution to the conversation earlier?
Story of Seasons, my character on Story of Seasons got a bob because I couldn't find another hairstyle, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with the bob. I'm just gonna rock it. I'm Negro 17.
I went with the messy head.
Yeah,
the messy head.
Yeah, that's funny that you guys both chose the alternatives to having a afro cap that's supposed to be shaved on the sides. I dropped it in the Discord just
in case, just
in case anyone missed it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it definitely. I think it's like, okay. I think it is supposed to be shaved on the side, but I really don't know what's happening with that hair, and I was going to try to explain it.
He got a perm just on the top half inch of his hair.
My boy got the S curl.
Tragic.
He left it in too long.
No.
Look,
hair is fried.
you can't be a winner all the time. That's all. But I will say that, yeah, I think games are overall getting better with this. it's just been a very slow journey. And the games that are coming from I was gonna say the games that are coming from Japan. I feel like maybe it's a side effect of not having enough access to Black developers. I don't know what it is, because I do feel like I run into this a lot more. We still have the problem here with like American games and like European games and stuff like that. But one thing I'll give like Baldur's Gate credit for is that they did a really good job with Black hairstyles. And just Black features in general. Like I feel like you can get down to the nitty gritty on like where you want certain like your lips or your nose or like ears and every like complexion and stuff like that. Even things to like if you wanted a character that had like vitiligo and stuff like that. Like there's so many different aspects that you can do within Baldur's Gate. Like they took a lot of attention to detail with the character creation. But I do know that they also had Black developers and Black staff on that game. It wasn't nearly as many as others, but they made sure they had some people that they were able to talk to about the game before they put it out, and like make sure everything went okay. Versus, I feel like a lot of Japanese studios either don't have access or choose not to do that, or they do it at the very last minute. Like Square Enix with Forspoken, they created a video game with a Black woman as the main lead, but didn't bring in any Black people to look at the game until it was already fully created and ready to launch. And so the people that they brought in were like, hey, we gave them feedback where we can. We talked about colorism. We talked about like the fact that she's like lighter with really straight hair, and some of the like conversations that she had, and just how to make her feel a little bit more like this was an intentional decision to create a Black character.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, again, after the game was built. So there were like a couple of tweaks that they might have done here and there, but it was kind of like, we brought you in so we could say we brought somebody in. The game's built. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So it doesn't look good when it's done.
Yeah, they said, so this is what we did. Tell us how you like it.
And then we can put your name at the bottom of like, we spoke to blackpeople.net and they said this is okay.
All Black people approve.
Black.org.
Yes. Yeah, so don't do that. But I feel like developers are starting to get there. It's just some of them I think are a little bit more intentional, and some of them are like that, where it's like, hey, we got a sign of approval from this one random group. We good now, right? Or we didn't really, but they signed on, so here we are. Yeah.
It seems like the recipe's easy. Just actually get Black developers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You think. But here
And
we are.
But here we are in 2023.
Now, I will say that Pokemon, they've got some really cool designs for characters, and I think they've really been.
I'm gonna tell you what makes me mad
Except
about
for
Pokemon.
Brock.
Yes.
Open his eyes.
Oh no.
No, but
No, they've come a long way.
Yeah. There's more than Brock, though. You know what I'm saying? If you look at a lot of especially the darker skinned characters, especially in later seasons, they have very cool and unique designs that don't rely on any essentialist stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
So
I also don't think Brock was supposed to be like Black.
Yeah.
He was, I don't think that was ever their intent.
Brock was like Piccolo. He was like the one character in a cast that didn't have any Black people for a long time. Or if they did have a Black person, there was an obviously racist depiction of them. So you had to like scapegoat another character to be your Black person.
Yeah. But I will say what makes me mad about not Pokemon the anime, but the video game is the fact that all of their gym leaders and stuff will have really cool, fun things that they've done to their hair and be Black characters. And then when you go to create a character, we get the same situation we get with Monster Hunter and everything else.
It's
we
true.
got one kind of Black hairstyle, or you could go with a bob. Like it's ridiculous because I've seen them create characters. I was like, I know you know how to do this. Why won't you actually do it in the character creator? What's happening
like
here?
why she get to have a big old cool afro, but then I gotta have an afro cap with the curly top at the, like,
right in the afro cap.
They don't want to see you winning.
They don't. They
They don't
really
want to
don't.
see you winning.
They don't want to actually
What-
make a real a real character creation engine. They just don't want to do it.
Yeah, they're like, we've been using the same one for 30 years. We've just slightly upres it for each console. Don't make us change now.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say they're great hairstyles, but at least they're unique. And I see some of them drop into this Discord. Like, look.
Yeah, those are some of the characters from Pokemon, the Aloha series. I don't remember
Yeah.
what the.
Hey.
Yeah, Sun and Moon. Yeah.
Sun and Moon, hey. Sun and Moon, hey.
Even the new champion. What's his name?
Hold on. Which one are you talking? You
Leon?
talking about the
Leon?
Or are you talking about
I thought you were talking about
like
your
the
dual
newest one?
Instagram fan. What's his name? Oh, you're talking about from
I am
the
definitely
new.
talking about Leon.
Oh, okay.
He-
I was okay. Well, when you said the newest Pokemon, I also went to Sword and Shield instead of Violet and Scarlet and Violet, even though that is technically the newest Pokemon.
Who's
But I
the
was talking
other
about
newest champion?
no. You're
Pizza.
talking about no,
Hey,
no. Okay, I'm gonna just Google real quick, y'all.
Nimona?
No,
I would like to
no, not
send y'all.
Nimona.
Those
Um,
are two new champions, and they're both
I
the
feel
people
like
of
neither of
water.
them are the people Kogra is talking about.
Who is Nimona?
Nemona's the girl
Nimona
who's
is
like
your
fight me.
rival.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
our best
fight me.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I remember
she was already
Nimona.
a champion when you get to the end.
Yeah, she was already beast mode, but she's not necessarily brown. She
Yeah, she
is.
is.
She is a little brown,
Yeah.
but Leon's a little more. I was talking about Leon originally, but now that you bring
Okay.
her up, she is a little toasty too. She got a nice
A
little
little
tan on
toasty.
her.
And Gita, but she's not the only one.
I
Well, I
honestly
guess
thought you
no,
were
the
talking
other
about
girl
who's
was.
the dude who's the Instagram dude from Sword and Shield.
Instagram
He's
dude.
the dragon.
Oh, you talking about
Jungle.
Rai? What's his name?
It does start with the R. This don't bother
Raihan. You
me.
talking about Raihan?
Yes,
Oh
Raihan.
yeah, Raihan's a brother for sure.
I would like to share something with y'all.
Tell
What?
me.
Is it that thing
Um,
that you just posted in the chat
yes,
that
I just
I missed
pasted into
about?
the chat this article titled "The 10 Best Black Nintendo Characters of All Time." It's a pretty
Mm.
solid list. It's
Are they all
posted
black?
by Player Nature on April 7th, 2021. But I was laughing because when you open it, the first person to pop up is Matt from Wii Sports.
Okay, but
Yeah,
look,
I was about to
Excuse
say that. I
me.
was about to say why God's
no,
name is man from Wii Sports.
because time out, because Matt was constantly giving you hands in every sport that you chose. Matt was there to humble you. I'm not mad at Matt being a
Strictly to humble you.
yes, that was the only reason
So
Matt
you think you
existed.
got good, eh?
All right, here comes Matt. He gonna box with you. All right, you lost 18 times in a row. Go sit down.
Oh gosh. Ooh, Grant.
Oh man.
Now, Grant, I don't know if
Oh
your
man.
your Pokemon type gave them the excuse to make your hair a giant rock, but
No,
it's not giving.
He's
yeah.
obviously a rock type gym leader. What
Mm.
what
Yeah, I
what
don't
else
know
Y'all,
what
can
you
you
wanted from the
expect?
man.
if y'all see that clip, I'm sure probably Lois seen it, but it's like a dude that's rapping. He's like, "And mama, don't worry,
You
you
married
ain't
the
gonna
gangster.
Oh yeah,
survive."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see the
that
video?
Oh
Like,
Hey, don't
no.
do
like
him. Hey,
all
don't
the
do
way.
that's
him.
how no. Ah,
And that's
yeah,
what Grant
no.
went on to do.
That guy's locked up for murder right now. Hey,
Oh
mama,
man,
his
Mama
mama.
did not.
Good morning.
Mama failed.
Mama
Nah,
should have been worried.
She should have been.
Sorry.
Can we talk about Anthony Higgs from Metroid?
what number?
Number 6.
Don't do that to Anthony.
I know somebody who looks just
Why
like
is
that
she
guy.
laughing so?
I
He's got a
believe that because that's definitely just a picture of somebody
Yeah,
cut
this is
out
so.
and pasted.
yeah. They just
Right.
placed somebody's face into that model, but it's okay. That's my boy Anthony. He was out there fighting Metroids.
Oh
Anthony was
gosh.
out there in them trenches. Okay, you leave
Yeah.
Anthony alone.
Oh man.
uh, but I do have to say, Twintel, she was the reason I picked up that daggone Nintendo fighting game.
Oh,
Twintel.
Radiant.
She was, I think her name was,
Oh.
wasn't it Twintel? Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
Twin Tail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Twintel from Arms. Yeah,
What
and she
number?
used to fight. She's
Oh.
number 2. Yeah, and she was dope looking. She had a couple of cute outfits, and she used to fight with them little pink and white swirly pigtails. That's what she was whipping people's behinds with. So I
Hmm.
loved her. And of course, I always have love for Marina, who they have as number 1, who also had she was Tupac. Yes, so she had the Tupac fit from one of the Splatoon Splash Fests that I will always remember and adore. So both of
Does
them.
Hey.
Splatoon make
Yeah.
anybody else feel uncomfortable when they look at it?
Who?
No, that sounds like a personal problem, sir. You go have to
Who?
go talk to somebody.
Wait,
He's
you
like,
said
I'm
something
liking
about
this
No.
squid.
They make me feel uncomfortable.
She is an octopus. Thank you.
Oh,
she
Sparkling, yeah.
does look like no.
Oh,
She does
Marina.
look like she threw away all the keys to your house and is laughing because you don't know this.
Wait, what?
Not
Wow,
all the
that's
keys to
right.
your house.
Wow, first of all, that's racist because she's super shy and sweet and quiet, and she only she sings, and that's the way she gets herself out there because she's super shy. So wow, T.
Very
Yeah.
anti-black of
Ah.
you.
You got me.
Ah.
I just
You-
you was some bad kid.
Oh,
Disclaimer.
wow.
I don't believe in bad kids.
Y'all are funny, man.
No, it's 'cause
I
she
know
looks
we only
like
got
a
about
child.
4 minutes left on the
She ain't
topic.
got no
We've
clothes on.
we've been like 70 video game, 30 anime. I'm hoping within the next 4 minutes we can maybe push it up to like 65 video game, 35 anime. So does anybody want to cover any diversity they've seen in anime before we wrap up?
So I was thinking about
Carolyn
so
Tuesday.
all of y'all that watch MHA, do you remember Rock Lock or Lock Lock?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was watching the English dub, and I feel like he was it wasn't. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't think he was someone that was just painted black. You know, I feel like the English dub at least kind of had that more black culture in it. And I was
Mhm.
even showing T that one of the motions that he did, it even looked like the Boondocks, which I thought was kind of funny. But what did y'all think about him?
Well, you know
Yeah,
he's got
I
a
do.
black VA as
Solid
well.
character.
So
He does.
yeah,
They
double
didn't
up.
Yeah.
just have some white man behind the microphone trying to sound black. They actually gave him a black voice actor, which is
Yep.
dope.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
that's
glad
part of
they
it.
did Brown.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
we talk about having black characters, we also need them to sound more like black people, and that usually comes from just having a black voice actor.
Right.
Yep.
And I think Mari, you were saying there's not too many, right? We were watching, was it the soccer show or something? Or we were watching some show
Let's see.
with the
Hello?
black.
Oh
voice
yeah, and I
actor.
said
Probably
that
was the soccer show because that's what Mars
Oh,
does. She
that's all
watches
I've been
Blue Lock.
watching today. Yeah, I watch Blue Lock. That's all I'm watching. But we definitely
Yeah,
have.
check that
There's more younger ones that are coming out, but yeah, we are still pretty limited when it comes to black voice actors, especially in anime and in video games by proxy. So it is cool to see that again. And it's getting these actors the opportunity to get into that field a little bit more because
Mhm.
it's more of a conscious effort for them to look for. Okay, let's find other black people to play these black characters instead of just having whoever they can find to play them, and then by proxy these people who maybe wouldn't have gotten a shot otherwise, even though they're really good, are now brought in because they're trying to be more intentional with their casting, and they get a shot they might not have gotten otherwise. So
Yep.
it's really good to see that happening. Zeno is one that's gotten really big recently, and he does Hawks in MHA, so not a black character but a black voice actor.
But
Shout
he's
out
also
Zeno.
Junpei Iori and Gamma
He's
2.
also Junpei in the new one. Yeah, he's the main character in Zom 100. So he's been really getting his name out there recently.
Which is
I
also
think-
important because don't only hire us when you're trying to market to a black audience.
Yes, the future is just having our voice places.
Exactly.
Shout
Shout out Zeno.
Shout out to Zeno. But yeah, I think other anime like Coker pointed out, Curl and Tuesday is a really good one. I think if we're talking about culture, maybe more so than explicit characters, Samurai Champloo, I think it's a big one that also made by the same person who did Carol and Tuesday, so not a surprise there. But Samurai Champloo culturally is really wrapped
Don't bust
into
a tumor
that
because it's only just a
culture, hip-hop.
rumor. Word.
But yeah, really wrapped into like hip hop culture and stuff like that. What other ones have I seen that have been really good? I know there's some newer ones, y'all. I'm just slipping right now. But I think anime has gotten better and being more intentional. But it tends to be like Carol and Tuesday and Samurai Champloo's person, very particular directors or artists that you'll see that you're like, oh, okay, this person's gonna make sure they have some diversity in there.
Absolutely.
Well, before we go on, I know you're gonna try to punch me in the mouth if I don't Hurry up and get this
Yeah, I'm
out.
looking at you.
Even though Usopp falls into the racist character trope of the lips, I think
and the lion.
Yeah, and the lion. We gotta have the black man lion. But as far as his hair, it's not just random black blobs. He actually has like a curly hair pattern. And as he grows up, you get to see the development or changes in his hair as well. So,
Does he?
Usopp's a brother.
Yeah, light skin representation.
Yeah.
A half fist for me, a limp fist for me.
She's
all right.
Does he have a Drake fade?
No.
Not yet. Combination.
They bet not.
But on that note, we're going to wrap up this conversation, y'all. So those of y'all who's viewing, we want to know what's y'all favorite examples of diversity in anime, diversity in video games. Leave an example in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our other video coming up shortly, which is going to be which Animal Crossing character are you. But that's it for now. Players and protagonists out.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.